He was made what?
By Boeing.
Oh.
Good seeing you again, Paul Duffey. I know you and Lynn are still in contact with one another. But, so we haven't seen each other since Mariner.
That's right.
30 years. Wow.
Are you married?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Children?
One son who's 17. And he is actually working for me in the shop part-time.
Oh, okay.
He's
So you
a
have
senior
your
in
own
high school.
shop then?
Yeah, just backyard shop. Okay, Harry, you're the first one. You could tell them about the manufacturing of the gas frame. Remember, you made one of those. Ernie Woods made one. You made one.
Actually, none of the flight hardware was ever manufactured in these shops because NASA did not believe in that we could do it. So we could make engineering test model and prototype models, but we assembled the gas frame was made by some outfit. This part right here was made by some outfit down in Santa Clara, and I can't remember what the name were, but I remember we were down there, and since in them days we did not have a CNC machine, they were all made by hand.
This was made in the shop. This part.
Yeah, this engineering test model, but none of the flight models was ever made in neither your or my shop.
Yeah.
And I came down there and they had a stack of about 20 of them since, you know, they have been screwed up doing manufacturing.
Sure.
And then finally you made a couple of them and I made one of them, and
Harry, tell him which shop you ran, which machine shop. You were the SSL machine shop,
yeah,
right? And you ran the chemistry machine shop.
Yeah, he was in chemistry shop, and I won the one right in behind the wall here was the shop. And we started off, when I first started off working for the Space Science Laboratory in the old Lucenum Observatory. I was by myself for about 6 months, and then I finally got one helper, and then we expanded down to 2119 University Avenue, which was...
It was an old storefront.
There was an old storefront on University Avenue.
So that was the home of Space Sciences for a couple of years.
Space Sciences, and then we moved from there and up to the building here, when we opened up here. And that's when we started making stuff for the man of Mars.
And which part did you actually work on, Paul?
I worked for Les, so I mostly worked for on the gas system, and it mostly had to do with assembling, testing. We also built the systems that we used for filling the gas system, and we would do the vibration testing at Edwards Air Force Base because of they had to be tested in an explosive safe facility. So that was done out at Edwards, and pretty much I worked for Les, although I started work, I was an apprentice of Harry's back in the old shop. And then in the middle of 1965 I was drafted. So by the time I got back from the Army and a tour in Vietnam, the shop then had been moved up here. And then I came to work up here, and I worked for Harry, and then I worked for Les on this particular project. Let's see, what would you like to know specifically?
Some details about building it. What was hard? What was the hard part? What was relatively straightforward?
The hardest part was that gas flame.
Now that one there...
Beyond a doubt, that was the hardest piece to make on this thing.
Why was that?
Why? Because NASA inspectors, if you made one mistake on that thing, he would scrap it.
Well, that was high pressure. That was one reason also.
Well, no, this piece is not high pressure.
No.
But it is, you've seen it on the back side, it's incredibly complicated and a lot of angles and draft angles and all kinds of little pieces that have to be machined in there.
Now that one looks to me like aluminum, right,
Yeah.
Harry? And I think the ones you made were
No, they're all aluminum.
weren't some of them magnesium?
No.
They're all
One was
aluminum.
titanium and one was stainless. I think
Stainless,
is what
I
it-
believe.
or- yeah, I think it
Is
was.
that
Make
right?
one stainless? I never heard of that.
This is the prototype. This is the
prototype.
engineering model, so that they're both still the
No,
same.
I'm sorry. The prototype was made in aluminum, and the depth was only a 60. And as soon as you completely apart, up the tip, and they put more inside of it. Type model. And but the
Well,
first,
Les was
the
telling
first
us
one I
that-
seen that one, that lit completely apart. And the one out of magnesium, we tested it. We had a little shake table in here in down in room 20, and we put the one out of magnesium, and that looked like a. It actually looked like a piece of wet macaroni sitting on this thing.
As it was deforming
that
on the
darn
right.
thing would deform and bend. And you look at something like that and you wouldn't believe it was possible. But that thing was actually bending that much in a shake table.
Well, that was this
Part of it
too.
was bending.
That was like this here, but it was made out of magnesium.
What part of this was bending that you're talking
The main
about?
frame, the base
Oh,
frame.
I
main.
see.
Frame,
I
yeah. And then they give that up to make it out of magnesium.
Okay.
But you know, I just run the shop and I didn't have much to do with the office up there. I don't really know that.
What about on this piece of equipment
This was down in the shop, chemistry.
in the chemistry
It's
shop?
done in
Okay.
chemistry. Yeah, he can tell you about that one.
It was very difficult also. As far as shake and vibration, like this front shield here was going like this. And the detector holders were going like this. And I mean, apparently what happened was they proved to be satisfactory because they would go back to the original position, you know, rather than stay bent or so on. But it was a horrendous job. I mean, I did all the polishing on it. I mean, I used to be up here all night long polishing, not up here, but down in chemistry. And the stuff was so thin that you can imagine what happens out in this area here for the detector holders, which is, I think they were a 1/4 inch in diameter.
Yes.
You know, they go like this, but they go back to their original position, which was satisfactory, I guess.
I remember Andy telling me that in those days, abrasive paper went down to 600 grit. From there, it went to crocus cloth. Crocus cloth is cloth with jeweler's rouge on it. There's a huge gap in abrasive quality between those two. So what Andy used to do, he'd finish the surfaces down to 600, and then he would take two pieces of 600, rub them together, and he called it dead 600. Now we would call it 1200, and he would continue polishing with the dead 600 until it produced the surface finish that he required.
Why did you need it to be so polished?
This one was
Most-
printed
it's
so
mostly
that they don't
for-
pick up heat.
Yeah, reflecting heat.
Okay.
But the other thing is that if you have a scratch, that's a place where a crack can start. It's a concentration of stresses would occur.